This is the Turkish Get Up. Before you start tackling this move, realize that it's a very, very complicated move that exposes all sorts of weaknesses, range of motion issues, and coordination issues. So if you are finding that it's difficult, it is for a reason, and that just means that we need to work on certain things. So do not get frustrated, break it down into its smallest parts, and get through the parts that you can get through with control, okay? If that means you can't do the entire get up, that is fine, okay? I like to recommend that people start out with something nice and light and a little unstable so that they can really realize where their hand needs to be over their shoulder. Sometimes I'll have you take off your shoe and hold that in your hands, and ab mat tends to do the trick as well. So we're gonna start with the ab mat. You'll lay down on the floor, Turkish Get Up, start on the ground and finish on the ground. Whichever hand is holding the weight or whatever implement you're using, that knee is bent, okay? The other arm is out to the side with the palm down at about a 45-degree angle, okay? From here, make sure that your hand stays directly over your shoulder. You're going to press towards the ceiling using your abs and reaching into whatever weight you are using, reaching for the ceiling. From here, roll onto that elbow. Pause at this position to make sure that everything is right. Your foot is engaged with the floor, your hand is engaged with the floor, and your hand is directly over your shoulder. From here, you will press up onto that hand on the floor. Again, pause in this position to make sure that everything's okay. And then through here, you want to push from the right foot, or the foot that's on the floor, and the hand that's on the ground, still looking up at where your weight is, and lift your hips as high as possible. There should be a lot of pressure between your hand and your foot. Pause in this position to make sure that your hips are all the way up, and then this is the hardest part. You have to thread the needle all the way through with that leg. This leg must come all the way underneath your back hip. If you short it, you're going to screw up the rest of the get up. So this is one of the most challenging positions. From here, hips up, be patient. Bring that knee all the way through. Once you're here, again with another pause, press through that weight, keeping that hand over the shoulder. Make sure that your hip is over your knee. Now you'll realize you're in the bottom of a lunge position. From here, drive through that front leg, stand nice and tall. Now we reverse it. Big step back with the opposite leg of the hand that's holding the weight, all the way back so that you have a 90-degree angle at the front leg and the back knee is directly underneath your hip. Reach for the floor to the side. You don't want to reach back and collapse that 90-degree angle at that back knee. You want to reach out to the side. Make sure that your foot and your hand are engaged with the floor. Lift, put a lot of pressure into this foot and this hand so that you can then again slide that leg all the way through again, okay? It has to come all the way through to the front, then you can drop your hips. Then you go back to your elbow, then you can lay back down. Okay, so in real time, up to the elbow, up to the hand, hips up, pull the leg all the way through, sit up, stand up. Big step back, hand down, hips up, push the leg all the way through, hips down, elbow down, lay down. Okay, once we start using a weight, especially the kettlebell, you want to make sure that you constantly push up on that weight. Don't let the weight control you. You have to control the weight. So think of a flat wrist, knuckles over, and now it becomes very important for you to keep your eyes on the weight. Keep a nice stiff arm. Everything should be completely tight. The weight is not in control. You are in control, meaning your shoulder is packed, your elbow is tight, your wrist is tight, and you are controlling that weight. Again, arm out to the side, press to the elbow, to the hand, hips up, thread the needle, Make sure that knee is under your hip. Stand. Big step back. Hand to the side. Hips up, thread it all the way through. Sit, elbow, down. Make sure to take the pauses in each position to make sure that you're in the right spot. The worst thing that you can do is speed this up and try to get it over with. You're not getting the benefit of it. Work, take your time, break it down into its smallest components, and see where there might be differences from left to right. What do you then need to address in order to fix those imbalances?